Hey y'all, this is Ryan. Here is what you missed on Wednesday, day 11. If you weren't here, James came from the zoo along with a few of his colleagues, and he did a lesson on two big things: exhibit design and data collection. If you missed it, it's kind of a big one, and you can't make it up. But you are going to need to know this information for the rest of the course. So what I did is I took some notes for you. You're welcome. So he went over a few different things like different types of exhibits. The first one is a menagerie exhibit. They're kind of old school, how we used to do things like 100 years ago. They're like unnatural. It's like lots of concrete and metal and fencing and stuff like that. And these days we do what's called immersion exhibits, where we try to kind of capture the wild or like recreate what happens in the animal's natural environment. Then what we did, we talked about animals' four main needs, and we need to address all four of these in our exhibits. So they obviously need to have food and access to water. They need a place to have shelter or rest, whether that's like from the sun or the weather, or to stay warm or cool. And then they also need adequate space. So that's going to be a big thing that we do in our research. The next thing is we talked about enrichment, and this is basically any activities to keep the animal stimulated. And we want these animals to be doing natural things. So a lot of enrichment has to do with feeding. We could play on the animals' adaptations, like smells or noises. Puzzles for really smart animals can be helpful, and even movement. And then we got into some of the team roles. These are going to be the team roles we're going to have pretty soon. And then the very last thing is we got into what's called an ethogram. Hey, Isaiah, I'll be just a minute, okay? Then we got into what's called an ethogram, and it looks like this. I added it to Google Classroom. But when we go to the zoo, we're going to be doing an observation, and we're going to be using a card like this. And what you can see here is there's categories: locomotion, non-social, and social. And then across the top, there's times. This is 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and a minute, and so on. So we're going to be using these to document our observations. Then on the other side of the card, there's some descriptions of what these behaviors are. So this is like just like kind of a fun in class one. Like, like the animal you're observing isn't going to moonwalk or whatever, or dab or whatever, or high five. But it kind of gives us practice, and that's what we did today in class. We practiced what that looks like. So we're going to be doing that for your study species. So both of those images are they're both in Classroom for you to look at. And that's kind of most of the data collection. Then we got to see a snake, Kenyan sand boa, which was pretty cool. You missed if you were there, and we kind of got to observe its enclosure. So that was day 11. I hope this helps.